Beartooth frontman Caleb Shomo recently had to pause the band's show to deal with a very crazy situation in the crowd. It put him in a very tough spot, and he handled it really well. So we're going to look at that in just a moment. Now, Beartooth has been very busy over the last year or so touring in support of their latest album, The Surface. And just last month, the band released the deluxe edition of that record, including a brand new song as well as some new live tracks as well. And I don't think enough bands are putting out live recordings anymore. And I just really love that. And so you can check that out everywhere now. So Beartooth is currently touring overseas. And we talk about things like this all the time, but this is really different than one I've seen. And so you'll see periodically here on the channel, someone will go to a show, act a fool in the crowd, and the artist will throw them out, understandably. And you'll also unfortunately see times where some dumbass will go and climb up on the stage and try to make it about them, and they're running and jumping up on stage and interrupting the show for everybody. There are many examples of that going really poorly for the person when they do that. You know, some of these bands got security guards that look like, I've seen a lot of the band's security teams, and so it's like one combination or the other. So you'll either have like a dude who looks like he's the starting right tackle for Ohio State, like 6'5", some gigantic dude, or some guy who like probably used to fight in the UFC. And so when you're doing that, you're taking a very big risk. Now, Beartooth, they're playing everywhere. I saw them earlier this year, and those of you that have had the opportunity to see them know they really put on a cool show. And there's this part in the set where Caleb goes out into the crowd and he does some acoustic stuff. I think he does a cover. He does a very cool rendition of their song, Look the Other Way, which is from their latest album, The Surface. And quite frankly, it's one of my favorite. I think it's one of the best written songs that Beartooth has ever put out. It's an amazing track. And so he just kills it up there. And so he's apparently, during this recent show, he's standing up on this sort of riser that's in the crowd. And it's really interesting. I love when bands do things that you don't expect in a live setting. So, this is one of those times where he just appears in the crowd. And so those who weren't able to get up front on the barricade, you're like, oh shit, there he is right there, and he's playing. And it's just unforgettable. It's like adding even more value. And so that's that moment. So this dude is up here playing and trying to focus on performing. And no matter how it may look like it comes second nature. There's a lot of timing to this. There's a lot of focus that's required. And so he's trying to perform. And evidently, according to this video I'm going to show you in just a moment, he looks out into the crowd and apparently sees someone involved in like a verbal altercation with his wife. So imagine you're trying to focus on the show, and then you look out and you see something that's going to be distressing to you, infuriating to you. And I don't know from this video whether or not this person knew they were talking to his wife or what exactly happened. And, some people will go, why weren't they side stage? A lot of people will go out to like the sound booth and watch, because when you're side stage, you don't get as best sound, You really want to go and hear the performance. And, a lot of friends and family members, trusted people who are close to the band, sometimes they want their feedback, what did you think? And so, you're getting the best experience by just standing out front of house and listening to it. So he sees this happen and he just goes the off on the person in the crowd. And I just thought, under all the pressure, the entire fans are watching you and everything. And I just thought he really handled it very well. And so here is that moment with Caleb seeing this going on. And then he's like saying, hey, not only are you acting like a dick in the crowd, you're also talking to my wife. So very crazy situation. Here is that moment from that show.
But you do not talk to anybody like that. I don't care who it is, especially not my wife. So why? Quiet down. Don't encourage this. I'm gonna let them take care of this. Hey. Alright, anyway, easy. Woo! Sorry about that, everybody. I don't think anybody in the world needs to be talked to like that, but you said that's wrong. person tonight. Woo!
So there's like so many different things happening once in that clip. Now, first of all, Caleb handled it perfectly. I can't think of anything he could have done better. I mean, it was just, he really handled that very, very well. And he was like, he was very poised in that moment. And even on top of that, even in that exact situation, the crowd was like starting to mob this guy. Like people were booing him loud, and he's in control of that as well as any good. This is like demonstrating of like a AAA pro level frontman. So he's like going off on the guy. The crowd is like, yeah, screw you. And he's like, hold on a second, don't encourage him. And then he goes right back to it. And I just thought this is not only a very crazy, unique situation, but it's also kind of a masterclass in like how a good frontman really has the crowd in the palm of their hand. And so shout out to him. And like people, when you go to concerts, I know some of us don't get out very much and we just want to blow off steam. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what the mosh pit is for. Don't be a jerk to other people. And unfortunately, when I go far too often, you go to a show, and I know y'all know what I'm talking about, and you go, oh, that guy didn't know how to act. He don't know how to act in public. And just some of these people, some of y'all are uncivilized. And so just be nice to people at shows. Yes, there are things about shows that are inconvenient. Yes, sometimes you don't get the spot you want to stand in. Yes, sometimes it's annoying. Yes, sometimes people have too much to drink. But some of y'all got to take it easy at these shows. I mean, you're yelling at people. You're getting mad. You know, this is a joyous experience. This is an experience where we're happy to be there. You know, 99% of people, 98% of people at shows are there in the moment. They're excited. They're exactly where they want to be. And then there's just, and I just hate when I'm at a show and you get stuck next to some bro who just doesn't know how to act. And you're just like, oh, it's so annoying. So annoying. Like, if you can't handle your alcohol, don't come to the show or don't drink too much. Whatever it is, but it's super annoying, especially at what concert prices are these days. And so that's no dig on any bands. I mean, travel costs, everything's gone up. So, you know, inflation is rising. So of course, you know, bands are going to have to charge more in that regard. And so, but man, you know, some people don't know how to act at shows, but Caleb Shomo really handled that like a pro. I think that was a master class, and just like, dang, dude was laser focused in that moment. He didn't panic. He just like handled it at the exact level, you know? And so I thought that was really good. Again, they're currently out on tour. If you've never seen Beartooth, go see them live. Really good live band. And again, check out the deluxe edition of The Surface, out everywhere now. And hopefully more bands will put out more live versions, because I just think, you know, it's a different, capturing the live energy is important too. And not, you know, especially in this increasingly computerized world, I think that live recordings are also going to become more appreciated. So that's my 2 cents. Anyways, y'all, thanks so much for tuning into Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe and notifications on for the latest news and updates.